Hello, this is Stephen Hurd with Keller Williams Realty in beautiful Orange County, California. I'm excited today to talk to you guys about handling objections in accordance with the theme that we have for our role-playing group, handling objections for the month of November. So let's jump right into it. What I want to do today is briefly overview what an objection is, how to distinguish between an objection and a condition, and then give you a template that you can follow whenever a customer gives you an objection that you can use and practice and build a habit with. So let's dive right into it. So first, let's define what an objection is so that you know the context of what I'm talking about here. An objection is a question or a concern in the mind of the prospect. Example, we want to work with an agent who has sold homes in our neighborhood. What do they really mean? What's the main concern there? I'm concerned I will lose profit because I don't feel like you have enough experience to demonstrate my home's value to potential buyers. So just remember, whenever a client gives you an objection, there's really a question or a concern kind of floating around subconsciously for them that you want to identify and answer. Here's the good news. The good news is when a customer gives you an objection, if you solve their concern or answer their question, they will work with you. It's really as simple as this. If you solve the customer's objection or their concern, you overcome the objection. Very simple. Now, what I'm going to teach you how to do in a little bit is how to do that in a very diplomatic way that gets them on your side and in agreement with you. The difference between an objection and a condition: an objection is a question or concern that can be solved. So if they say, I want to interview a couple of agents to get a good understanding of what agents offer, you can solve that. There's things that you can say that will solve that objection in their mind and prove that you're the only agent that's a good choice. A condition is something that prevents them from moving forward that you have no control over. So they tell you, hey, I need a single level home, but there's only 2-level homes in the community that I like. That's a condition. There's nothing you can do to change that. So just remember, an objection you have control over and you can solve it. Condition, you have no control or ability to solve their problem. Okay, so here's a 7-step formula for handling objections with a client. So let's assume you're talking to a for sale by owner and they give you the objection, I like you, but I don't want to work with a real estate agent because I want to save commission selling the home on my own. So here's a 7-step template for handling that. Step number 1 is always agree, never disagree. When you're intending to influence someone, what you have to understand is that the moment you disagree with them, they tend to move back from you and you lose rapport. So when they say, you know what, we want to sell it on our own to save a commission, you simply agree with what they say, and I'll explain how to do that in step 3. Step number 2 is smile. You want to smile and be happy and show them that you're confident while you're solving the objection. Too many agents, when they get objections, they get very serious, and it makes a very uncomfortable setting for them and the client. So smile while you're handling the objection, because you don't want to appear like their objection fazed you at all. You want to come across like, hey, I'm confident, I can understand why you're saying that, and I'm still going to solve the objection. So step number 3, repeat and approve. So this is where you agree with them. Repeat and approve is when you repeat what they said back to them, and then you acknowledge it. Remember, we're always going to agree, never going to disagree. So they say, you know what, I want to sell my home on my own because I want to save some commission. Repeat it. You want to sell your home on your own to save some commission, and then approve. I can definitely appreciate that. Or I understand where you're coming from. Or, hey, that makes sense. The reason you're doing this is because when people feel like you agree with them, they're likely to be in rapport with you. They're drawn to people who agree with the things that they say. So you want to agree with what they say and approve of it. So you want to sell your home on your own. I can definitely appreciate that. Step number 4 is when you ask questions, and you want to ask open-ended questions. Now, mistakes that a lot of real estate agents make, and I've made them before many times, is asking yes or no questions, which makes the client feel like you're leading them to your own conclusion, not theirs. So you want to ask for open-ended questions. You know what? I can appreciate the fact that you want to sell it on your own to save the commission, and I definitely hear where you're coming from. I'm curious, why do you feel selling the home on your own will cause you to save money? Now, this question will engage them and will cause them to want to give you a response. You can also ask another question such as, if as an agent I could show you that I could save you time, money, and energy in this process, how would you respond to that? And again, I'm going to ask them an open-ended question because as I'm doing this, I'm engaging them. I'm causing them to really have a conversation with me so that I can understand where they're coming from. Step number 5 is I want to listen carefully to their answers. So I pay deep attention to their answers. When people start to respond to your questions, you'll pick up all sorts of clues about where they're at in the selling process, how motivated they are, and they'll secretly give you the answers you need to close them for an appointment. So listen very carefully to what they say. If you hear a FSBO say something like, to be honest with you, it's been a little frustrating selling this on my own. Listen carefully to what he's saying. He's telling you he's frustrated. This isn't working out for me. These plans are not going well. That's when you know you have someone that you have an opportunity to close. So step number 6 is solve the objection and close. So again, our objection was, I want to sell the home on my own because I think I'll save money. I've asked him questions that are open-ended. I've engaged him in conversation. I've listened very carefully to his answer. Now I'm simply going to solve the objection. Mr. For Sale by Owner, my team and I sell homes for 102% of the sales price. The average real estate agent in our market sells them for 97%, and the average For Sale by Owner sells them for 93%. If I could save you time, energy, and money in this process, would you be willing to meet with me this week, or would this weekend be better time for you? So I'm just solving their objection, and then I'm closing for the appointment. And then step number 7 is close. A lot of times as agents, we get caught up as we're asking questions, and then after we solve the objection, we sometimes keep talking. After you've solved their objection and they've agreed that, hey, what you have to offer is something I'd be interested in, you need to immediately move to the close. So you ask a closing question like, based on everything we've discussed, can you see the value that my team and I offer to you as a For Sale by Owner? As soon as they say yes, don't keep talking. Don't say good because, my team and I are great and we're going to be a good fit. No, stop talking at that point and then close. Terrific. When is the best time for us to get together and show you what we do to sell homes for 102% of the sales price? Are you available this Friday afternoon, or would Saturday be better for you? So that's the 7-step process to handling objections, and I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you very much for watching. Again, my name is Stephen Hurd with Keller Williams Realty, here for your Orange County referrals. Have an incredible day.